Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This is the way.
We wanted men.
Welcome to episode 260 of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. It's Glen and Jason. We're here every week. How y'all doing? We had an eventful week this week. How's your week going, Jason?
Great.
Other than having Susan play your hands at Lewis's.
Yeah, it was
Meetup.
Fun.
We had a meetup yesterday at Lewis's house, and Lewis and April's house, and he always is like, we're going to play these games, and he makes us feel like idiots. So we, had a good time yesterday at Lewis's meetup, which we'll get to in a minute. And but yeah, it's football week, Jason.
Yeah, I know the Cowboys lost, and the Eagles won. That's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it was a weird start to the season.
Yeah, I didn't even watch any of it. So this is my first year without having live TV. So I'm kind of curious how we're going to watch football.
Yeah, you can get the full football streaming thing. I mean,
yeah, but isn't it like $500?
Oh, is it? I don't know. Oh.
Last time I looked, it was expensive, but I hadn't looked this season to see what the NFL Network cost. We had it one year, and it was great because it was like they were trying to get you to sign up for cable, and they threw it in. So I had Red Zone and NFL Network, and it was amazing because you got to watch whatever you wanted.
Yeah, well, there's also Peacock and Amazon. They show live games, so you just need to be in the know as to when those games are.
Yeah, so I've got both of those. So I'm kind of curious how Amazon's going to start working because we are on our my mother-in-law's Amazon. So I heard they were doing something with the addresses or shipping. So I guess we'll see how that works from now on.
I fixed the shelves behind me.
I see that.
So those are good. I'm afraid I might have to do this one over the shoulder with Snaggletooth. I feel like I should just do it before it starts to sag.
Yeah.
But they're up. It's good. I got the Tonica sisters in cases right here. I don't know if this will be the final place for these.
They do kind of. Go ahead.
What?
No, they do fit in with the whole aesthetic of that room.
Yeah, I still have the Cantina band that I opened here that need to go into the Cantina, so I'll have to take care of that. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
I do love how you kind of just fallen into a Cantina focus, and you didn't mean to.
It's all good. I also printed this week.
An IG-88 head.
Is it?
Or a lamppost, whichever.
It's used in the bar. These are the things hanging behind Wooher in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just reused it for IG-88. But I did make a mistake. I lined up here at the top. There's like I'll just call it a staple punch. It's almost like you pulled the staple out.
Uh-huh.
But these are supposed to be staggered. So there's this one here, and then like in the middle it's supposed to be up here, and then down here it's supposed to be here. So when I make more, I'll have to just do it the right way. But
and you know what? If you didn't say anything, no one would
wouldn't
know.
No, you wouldn't know. But it's based on a real piece that was a jet engine or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a Rolls-Royce jet engine, and is what it's based off of.
That's what it is. It's either that or a Beamer, but either way, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, That's what's fun is when you like with Back to the Future, when you're looking at how they made the DeLorean, or with Star Wars, it's always like pieces they found they were able to piecemeal together and make the things that we love.
It's a big catch-up week because for some reason we haven't talked about news in a while. What was
Yeah.
at the front door?
Well, we had Lori on last week, and we were trying to get to talk to him, and we didn't cover news. We were just like, "Oh man, you've got so much stuff to talk about," and we just went into it, and we didn't discuss anything.
Oh, it's FedEx.
Oh,
Anyways,
what
yes, we didn't talk about that. We haven't talked about pickups in a while.
did is that a pickup at Fed with FedEx?
I don't know. Was I expecting anything this week? If it is, it's just like a Hasbro piece.
Oh yeah,
I did get notifications that my Bantha shipped, my land speeder shipped. It's like a lot is just hitting all at once.
that Bantha is going to take months to get to you
Why?
because
Oh,
it's.
that's a joke. It's a joke. I thought there was something going on that I wasn't aware of, but no, it's a Book of Boba Fett joke where he'll be here in 5 months.
Yes, slowest form of transportation.
Yes.
That's for you, Ted.
And so yeah, let me go into news. Sorry.
Yeah, let's
I
do
didn't
news.
sleep
Yeah,
well last night, so I'm like I'm catching up, but I'm like, oh, what's going
yeah,
on?
because I messaged you. I'm like, here's the link, and you're like, oh, we were going to do that this morning.
Yeah, we were. Well, the big news is that production is underway for Star Wars Starfighter, directed by Shawn Levy and Ryan Gosling, which is filming in the UK. They announced that Amy Adams, Aaron Pierre, and Flynn Gray have joined the cast. Flynn Gray is playing the kid that I think it's like an uncle nephew kind of story, and
hmm
Sean Levy, jeez, Ryan Gosling is trying to get the kid safely across the galaxy. And so Flynn Gray plays the kid, Ryan Gosling plays the uncle, Amy Adams plays the mom, so it'd be Ryan Gosling's sister.
I can,
And,
yeah.
and then there's
But is he going to
pirates.
be Ken enough?
I don't know, he's not going to be Knuff. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, there's pirates or bad guys that are chasing them for some reason. I don't know if this Flynn Gray is a force sensitive, and there's a bad force out there that are not the dark side of it. Well, it is associated with the dark side, but it's not Sith. I don't know. That's my speculation.
Yeah. Why is it always got to be about Jedis? I guess because that's what people want.
That's Star Wars. I mean, even Lori was talking about it last week. That's what people want out of Star Wars. It's if you want a regular sci-fi story, go watch something else.
Yeah.
This is Star Wars. There's Jedi, there's Force. It's part of the DNA of the story.
It always feels like somebody's got something, like it's a Jedi and we got to get him, and people, are trying to keep him safe. That's why that's the part of the story that I'm kind of tired of. I like the Jedi, but it's the fact that, oh, we've got to get this kid across the galaxy before these pirates get him because they want him because he's a Jedi. It's the same thing with the Mandalorian. It's the same plot point as the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and Clone Wars and this and that. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the kid has invented something that'll help pirates or something.
And he's got to get across the galaxy and we can't let somebody have him.
Right. But we'll see.
Yeah.
That'll come out in 2028. No,
Okay.
seven. Seven.
So 2 years.
Yeah, because Mando and Grogu come out next year, 2026.
Which means
So,
probably Celebration. It'll probably be after Celebration,
yeah,
so they can
which
hype
is
it up.
part of the reason why they put it in the Japan celebration is because this is the last time they'll be able to hype it up before the movie is released.
Yeah,
So,
fun.
um, so the HasLab LAAT, we're recording this on Sunday. It ends on Monday, and then this episode drops on Tuesday. And so we won't know if it's funded or not. As of this morning, it was like 5,500 out of 8,000 needed to back it. So we're not
Yeah,
sure, but Steve Evans did take this thing out to Massachusetts Toy Store. He took out the 3D printed model to show off and to try to get some social media attention to it. And he did reveal two new card backs for the vintage collection, Padme and Shakti. So those figures are planned for 2026 as part of the whole Return to Geonosis push.
Yeah.
But this was also him saying, hey, we're really going to support it next year. So support the LAAT.
Yeah. Why don't you make something that isn't the fourth time you've released it and charge me triple?
Well, it's going to be what, the seventh time this thing was released?
Yeah.
And all the figures that I'm highlighting this in the daily dose, all the figures that it's at 5,700. All the figures that they've released for the tiers have already been released.
Yeah.
And, or all the figures that they were showing off have been released. So, and we get clones. There's just nothing new. And there's a weird thing that happens with these HasLabs that people aren't going to support it unless they know it funds,
Yeah.
which is kind of like, why are you doing that? Because it won't fund if you don't support. If you want it, support it. If you
Right.
don't want it, then don't support it. Why are you waiting to see if it gets funded?
Yeah.
And then I was,
I, yeah. I mean, I'm just looking, and I think the most exciting part about this ship is the fact it comes with a flight stand. I mean, like, well, that's kind of cool because it'll take up quote unquote less space on your shelf versus the Ghost. But
yeah. And then I saw something kind of disappointing. They were Steve Evans and some other collectors were highlighting the current asking price of the barge
yeah,
and saying, if you don't get this now, you might have to pay up for it later.
yeah, I saw
But
that post.
it was also could be interpreted like, if you buy this now, you can flip it later for $2,000. And I'm just very disappointed that we're focusing on investment aspects of the collecting hobby, especially modern stuff. This stuff wasn't made for collecting.
Yeah,
The stuff, well, it's being made for collecting, but it's not going to have the same value as stuff that's not made for collecting that's worth money.
right. Because the stuff that's made for collecting is not meant to collect. If that makes sense. If it says
It,
like
it
collection edition something, don't collect that because
right.
everybody's collecting it.
And because it's made for collecting, it doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't increase in value.
Right.
It's the stuff that wasn't made for collecting that tends to be worth money later on.
Yeah.
And so if you start doing that with like the LAAT, it's not going to be worth money later on. It's weird. Like the sail barge wasn't made for investment. It was made like this is something that people have wanted for a long time. This is a way to get it out there. And people were like, okay, yes, I'll back it. It just barely backed. Um, and then because of that, it wasn't made for collecting. People wanted it because they loved it. It started becoming worth money.
Right.
But you get things like the Ghost and the Razor Crest, those things shot up in price because the speculators came in and they're like, this is going to be worth money, like the sail barge. And yeah, some like $100 maybe here and there, it's gone up, but it's not like the sail barge where it's just gone up to $2,000 in value. It's like what, like 300% increase or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I
it's
can't
because yeah, there's not as many of them out there.
I
That's
can't
what
do
it,
math.
yeah. I can't do math either, but yeah, no, and yeah, and because of the sale barge, like you said, those couple of HasLab speculators, and I think speculators rose it, and I think it's with this LAAT, I think people are because of like the Ghost and the Razor Crest, you like you were saying, you were able to make $100, $200. The Ghost, people are having trouble getting rid of it for what they have in it. Truthfully, there people are losing money to get rid of the Ghost.
Yeah.
So, and it makes more sense for people to open the Ghost up and separate it from the figures, and then you can make a couple $100 on the figures and like $300-400 on the Ghost, or vice versa, and you end up making a little more money. So I think that it's kind of shot HasLab in the foot a little bit, and yeah, and it is with the canteen with the sail barge. Everybody was like, ah, yeah, it's too big, or nobody was paying attention to it. It felt like, and then all of a sudden, when people got it, they went, oh crap, and then you have FOMO where people are paying up for it, and yeah, I think it's crazy that those are going for $1,500-$2,000 right now.
And I'm kind of worried about the future of the toy industry. I know we've talked about this before, but when I look at the Razor Crest from a couple years ago, it was $350.
Yeah,
And then I look at the LAAT, which seems to be even more hollowed out than the Razor Crest,
yeah,
about the same price, but it's $100 more. And I'm like, what has happened in the past? Has it been 4 or 5 years?
yeah.
Like, what has happened where prices have risen that much? $100. This should be like a $350 piece.
And yeah, I think that's what's causing the LAAT to kind of fail or not, maybe not fund, is because it's about $100 more than what it should be. And yeah, I think the Razor Crest is going to be, I don't, we'll get into the Cantina in a minute, but I think the Razor Crest is going to be the last great HasLab because they packed so much into that ship. And I don't think they're ever going to do that again.
It was the last project work. Well, last project. I don't know if that's accurate, but it is the last project that Mark Boudreau, look, the last HasLab that Mark Boudreau had some say in.
Right. And I think that is going
It
to,
does
with it,
show.
yeah, that it's going to show, and it is showing. Um, you know, we were, and it's the little things like the paint deco, which, the bottom half of the Ghost doesn't have the paint deco, but you look at the Razor Crest and it's got all the paint deco. I mean, the only thing I think the Razor Crest is missing is lights and sounds. But then they did the engines to make them look like they were lit up. And it's been a minute since I've looked at my Ghost, but I mean, up to my Razor Crest. But I mean, it was a fun piece to put together, and you look at it and you look at that compared to the Ghost. I've got them sitting right next to each other, and it's night and day. The detail they put into those ships.
Yeah, I mean the prices of electronics is coming down considerably. So I mean we're talking like it should be pennies
Yeah.
when you mass purchase this stuff.
Well,
Um,
and we were talking to one of our buddies, and he was like, "You don't need to put batteries in these. The way that people have things set up, and the way that people are thinking about electronics now, all you have to do is put a charging port in them. Not even a charging port, a plug, a
yeah,
USB plug, and then people can plug it in because those
yeah,
they're not you're not flying around with it, playing with the electronics. Because didn't they
right.
do that with the Star Speeder?
Yeah, the Star Speeder does have batteries though. You
Okay,
can display it either way. Mine is plugged in because I just don't want batteries to corrode things and destroy it.
yeah.
But
Well, you see, and that's the other thing. And yes, granted, Disney's the one that produced that Star Speeder. You look at that Star Speeder, and for $300, what you're getting with that Star Speeder is amazeballs.
yeah, I don't know. So I mean that's the I guess the wrap up on the LAT. It remains to be seen as far as we're concerned today as we record this, but on Tuesday it'll be over. And next week we can do the post game wrap up, I guess, and try to figure out why it funded or why it failed. And Steve Evans did hint that there's a speeder coming, so you can be able to put your speeder inside your LAT next year. But
Do
I
you
don't
think
know.
it's going to fund?
It's just the thing that I'm not sure about is the speculators.
Yeah,
Are they going to show up for this? Because that can add 10,000. That could potentially add 10,000 people to back this, or 10,000 backs.
right.
I mean, people can do up to five or something. So,
Yeah. Well, you see, that's the other thing is I remember when the Razor Crest came out, people were getting together and buying five or six of them.
but this is falling behind the Rancor
Oh,
in terms of backing. Like the Rancor failed by like 400, 500, 300, something like that. It was a very small amount. It
mm,
almost funded.
right.
And so this is falling behind. I guess tomorrow will be the day. We'll have to see if all of a sudden there's a spike
Hmm.
in people backing it. I mean, if people want it, I hope they get it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't look good. The
Yeah.
prognosis doesn't look good.
I'm actually, I know we want to move on, but I'm actually surprised with that Rancor being like 300 away from funding. They didn't push it another day or two.
Well, I'm sure it could have, but they did that before with one of the Transformers. It was like too big to fail almost, and they were just, we got to throw this in there.
Yeah.
We got to expand the days. So, but more bad news. According to Toy News International, Hasbro might be raising prices. The MSRP for a Marvel Legends Doctor Doom figure went up.
Uh-huh.
It went up from 24.99 to 27.99. And so Black Series could potentially follow. This is not an announcement that prices are going up, but don't be surprised if in a couple months you start seeing Black Series for 27.99.
Thought they were already in that price range.
No, they've gone back. Well, I don't know, 26, 25.99, something like that. But uh, if I'm reading the tea leaves, I would imagine that the prices are about to go up again.
Jeez.
I wish I had more positive news.
Well, I mean, I think prices are just going to keep going up for things, and people are going to have to start making decisions.
Yep.
I mean, you
So,
could see it. I mean, we see it in the vintage collection stuff because stuff's not selling. Stuff that people are selling that they should be selling. Stuff that should be selling's not selling.
yeah. And even activity in some of the groups have has diminished. There's people who used to participate all the time are just not participating anymore, and I just wonder if Star Wars is dead, dying, or hibernating.
I think it may be hibernating a little bit. I mean, I could see getting fatigue um in the groups, because it does come to a point where it's like what how do I say, you put a lot into it and then you just sometimes you get fatigued, and I could see people that, that don't have because we're really I mean, we're in the deep end. And people that aren't in the deep end like us, it's easier for them to step away. Whereas I mean, I'm not saying we don't have a choice, but it's a lot harder for us to step away. So we force ourselves through it.
Yeah.
Where somebody who's not would just be like, I'm going to take 6 months, a year off, see what happens. Yeah.
Also, there won't be a Hasbro 1027 event this year. They've done that in years previous, but I think that was more of a thing that came out of COVID. Like we can't get out to San Diego Comic-Con, we can't go to New York City Comic-Con, so we need to do something to get people excited about our product and to um, feel like they're at a convention without being
Mm,
at a convention. So they're not doing that this year, and I don't know if it's just going to go away because they don't need it anymore,
mm.
or if it's just another cutback, or what's going on. But it's not happening.
Okay.
And then I
No,
just wanted what
go ahead. Go ahead.
just wanted to mention that one last time campaign for the Star Wars VHS when it was released one last time in '95
Mhm.
turns 30 years old this year.
Yeah.
Because after that, they released the special editions, and they never, well, I say never, they did one time as a DVD release, the original, unedited, unspecialized stuff. But yeah, that's 30 years old now.
So yeah, we've had the special edition longer than we have had the original ones,
Oh, well, that'll
or
be
as long,
2027 is what I guess the 30th anniversary of the special editions.
which would make it the 50th, which is the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, which
Yep.
20 years, you had 20 years with the unedited, and we've had the edited version for 30. So, and you
Yeah.
can't find, like you said, unless you find old media, you're not going to find the unedited version. I want to, while we're on, I think it was funny, and I didn't reiterate this last week when we were talking to Lori about how he was like letterbox. You're watching the four, the whatever, the old school square TV, and then all of a sudden you get the letterbox version, and
Yeah.
you're like, there's so much more happening. That happened with me when the letterbox version of I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and I got the letterbox version of Star Wars, and like the AT-AT scene. I mean, this is Empire, but yeah, we got the trilogy, and I watched the trilogy while I was recovering, and like the AT-AT scene, I was like, "There's people on the sides."
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and the thing I would remember, and I can't remember any specific example right now, but they used to call it pan and scan because it was their option to pan or scan in a frame because they just squared it up.
yeah,
But in some scenes, there'd be so much going on in a widescreen that they would start maybe on the left and they would scan to the right.
hmm
And so when we would go from the square image to the letterbox and there wasn't that pan, I'm like, oh my goodness, what did they do back then? Because there was a pan there that there wasn't. It was just that you couldn't see the whole frame, so they were forced to scan it
yeah.
or pan it, I should say. But have you picked anything up lately? Because I think there's a couple things I haven't talked about.
Um, I don't think so. No, I haven't. Star Wars wise, I haven't.
Well,
Unless remember something I don't.
no,
Yeah,
I
no.
don't.
I've got some things that are being offered to me on the Bill and Ted side that I need to like that are big dollar stuff that
So,
it's been sort of like get to it when you get to it. So
mm.
that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, did I talk about Kelly reaching out to me from Second Chance?
No.
They got, I mean, this is not a big piece. They got a fan club action fleet item that came in. It's the Darth Vader TIE fighter.
Uh-huh.
And the cool thing about this, it's actually a different mold than what was widely released. It's a smaller vehicle. And it came with all the contents. It came with the plastic tray. The box is a little beat up, but for 20 bucks, I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll come in and grab that. So I picked that up a couple of weeks ago. And while I was there, they got a bunch of cool vintage figures that were in decent shape. And they also had Wicket, and I haven't had a Wicket, but I do have the spear that goes with Wicket.
Okay.
And Kelly said he likes, I guess it's the same spear for, was it Ramba maybe from
Yeah,
the
it's one of
last
the last
17?
17. Yeah.
And he likes to use the spear for Ramba because it's just, you get more money. So he was happy to sell me a Wicket without the spear because that way he can use the spear for a Ramba if that comes in.
Yeah.
So I picked up a vintage Wicket. I hadn't had one, and this one was in decent shape. It was in actually pretty good shape. So
Cool.
picked up a vintage figure this a couple of weeks ago. But I've also got a bunch of TVC stuff that came in. I got switch over Cobb Vanth. So they've released a deluxe version with the Boba Fett armor, but this is, and then people were like cutting off pieces to make like just a regular Cobb Vanth
Hmm.
without the armor, and that's what this is. So it's a decent shape, a nice likeness to Timothy Oliphant,
Yeah.
who's killing it on Alien Earth.
So
Um,
is real quick, is that character he's on Alien Earth, is that a guy from Aliens that he's playing? Because he's playing like a either an alien or a cyborg or something. Or is that
uh,
just is my mind just messing with me?
no, his type has been in Alien before,
Okay.
but that character is new.
Okay.
He plays I don't know, cyborg. Is that what they call him?
I don't think they're cyborg. Cyborg is the
He's a
wrong
synthetic. We'll just put
Syn-
it that way.
Okay. Because it did kind of, I'm like, I've never seen Aliens, but I've seen enough of it to, or you see enough just in social, just in life. And you're
Yeah.
like, this reminds me of another character that I've seen in blips and blops. Uh,
Yeah,
but,
he's a synthetic. Like if you were to cut him open, he would bleed like a milky
uh,
substance
okay.
because he's a synthetic life form.
Right. And one more thing about Alien Earth, I loved how they explained everything in like 30 seconds. Or like a minute where the cyborg is talking to the girl or the guy, and he's like, "This thing's gonna happen. It's gonna latch onto this guy's face. Give him 2 days, and then this other thing's gonna latch out, and then So it explained the whole breeding process of this whatever the thing are the aliens in a minute. So somebody that's never seen it, there it is, and I really appreciate it when people do that.
Yeah, they made it accessible for first time viewers.
Yes.
And I liked how episode 5, which is the latest episode, has kind of it was an homage to like the original Alien, but it flipped the entire series.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say any more, but I thought it was just really well done, and the whole show has been great. I
Mhm.
was surprised people didn't like it, but
Well, it is a weird take on it because it's basically Earth, but you would expect it to be more aliens. But now I think they've flipped it around a little bit.
yeah, I was a little bit more focused on the whole synthetic thing. But the entire like genre of Alien can
Hmm.
just get so repetitive. Like you go on a ship, there's an alien, you fight to survive. The last person's usually female. The end.
Right.
And that'll get tired over time. I like that Ridley Scott came back in and tried to focus more on the engineers and the creation of aliens
Hmm.
themselves. And then this is adding more to the synthetic thing. What does it mean to be human? There's the corporate espionage aspect of things. It's just a different take on Alien. I also like how they're just giving it to those tech bro assholes. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, earmuff kids. I know it's too late, but I'm
No,
just getting so sick of these billionaires.
yeah. No, I mean, and I loved how the technology, even though we've advanced so much from when the first aliens came out, all the technology is still like 70s technology.
Yes, yes, they didn't update it. It's like the green screens, like the green. They have a unique name.
The
The
monitors.
monitors,
Yeah.
but there's a unique name for those green monitors, but they still kept them, like you're saying. So
Yeah. So back to the pickup. Sorry. I
yeah,
wanted to touch on that just because it's such a good show. Y'all need to be watching it.
yeah. Timothy Oliphant's good. Um, but I also got a
Yeah.
rocket launcher trooper from Jedi Survivor, which is just
Nice.
a stormtrooper with a rocket.
And a pole and
That's
a
I mean,
whatever pauldron.
yeah, the rocket's been made before from another figure. This is just a sand trooper repainted, so I mean, it's just an easy repack.
Yeah.
But it's a smart repack, and
Yeah.
like it's a character that's been made, and they can do it real quick and in without having to invest too much money. And it's a new character. It's just old parts, and that's fine.
Yes.
It's when you get to the carbonized crap. Um,
Which they've stopped making.
Moff Gideon in his Dark Trooper armor, which is I love this figure and the way it looks.
Hmm.
I just wish it came with another head, a pop-off
Yeah.
head where you can put Gideon on it.
Yeah, I mean that is a badass looking figure, but yeah, I totally agree. They should have thrown a head in there.
And then I also got Night Sister Marin from Survivor. So
Yes.
I guess they're not done with this. They keep teasing a third game that's coming out, so that'll
Yeah.
be coming soon. I also got my Cantina from Hasbro. I ordered two. I got a regular one, which came first, and then I got a deluxe, which came second. So I had to wait to actually open it and put it together because I only wanted the figures
Hmm.
out of the regular version. So I was able to put it together. Um, I might be going against the grain here. I wish it wasn't modular, but it has to be modular. I don't think you can have a non-modular cantina because it would just be too tough for people to put the figures in those alcoves without pulling off the top and putting the figures in,
Uh-huh.
pulling off the roof, I should say. And so I do think that it needs to be that way. It's bigger than I imagined it would be. It took a while to put together. It was a lot of fun. It felt like Lego at time putting together the bar itself because there are several steps. You need to put this thing in first before you put in this thing. You put in this thing next, and that was a lot of fun. The bar was great to put together.
Hmm.
The alcoves were fine. I wish they had a heavier wash, but there is a light wash on it. So I'm just afraid of overdoing it now. If I were to add a wash myself, would it make it look like really cruddy?
Right.
A lot of people are complaining about not having a roof on it, which it is a toy, and I do think that this is the best of both worlds where you get the full cantina, you can play with it without having things that are in the way inhibiting the play.
Why would you want to? I would want a floor before I wanted a roof. Because like
And
you
that's
said, it cuts off, you couldn't see anything with it.
and I don't, I'm not afraid of giving Hasbro their due if I feel like something's not right, but I do think like the complaints about the floor, I just don't get it. Maybe because I also know what floor to buy
Hmm.
to make my own and that I can make my own, but somebody who's not as, we'll say, crafty.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a learning curve and how do I do this and I don't want to cut myself and I might not have the tools to do it, but I just think with the modularity of the cantina, it makes it very difficult for Hasbro to produce a floor that is applicable. Like, do you make three pieces? One that's just for the alcoves, one that's for the middle section with the bar, and one that's for the last set of alcoves. And then you
Right.
put it all together because that way, if you separate the three and you have to put it on a shelf, you've got one floor for the alcoves. I don't know. Maybe that's the approach they should have taken, but they didn't. So, but
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that it was just easier not to do a floor, and then you deal with the floor yourself.
um, but yeah, I've put it together. I really enjoy setting up the figures and watching all the YouTube videos, trying to figure out where this character is because when they originally shot there's no continuity in the cantina. We'll just put it that way because they shot it in the UK
Right.
one way, and then George wasn't happy, so they moved things to back to LA where Rick Baker added some more creatures. So like there's a reason why there's two of the same costume in different scenes. It's because well they just reused that costume in a different place in a separate set of reshoots. Like even the shot where Han and Greedo are talking,
Hmm.
Han shoots first, Greedo shoots next, or whatever. Um, Behind Greedo, there is an alcove, but in the original shoot, there's no alcove there. It's actually just a giant light fixture.
Hmm.
So like even the bar itself changes depending on the reshoot. So I mean it's a mess. It's you can do whatever you want with the cantina, and you'll be right because George did not care about continuity at all.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Awesome. I mean,
Because
which go
the
ahead.
other weird thing about the cantina is with all those reshoots, there should be like 14 different alcoves because you see it's a very active bar because that's the only way you could justify like you see, Hem Days on the first character that pops up,
Uh-huh.
and then the next second you're in a different alcove, and the next second you're in a different alcove, and the next second you're in a different alcove, and like it's just and then later on you see all those same characters in different places. So it's like when Luke walks in, this character's here, and then he walks to the bar, but then you see the character over here, which means that he must have walked behind Luke to get over there real quick to be in that shot. And like there's a lot going on in the
Mm.
cantina. So
Yeah, well, I also know like with movie magic, you've got things that make them look bigger, because I know when we went down to where they shot Walking Dead, that just you like they were train tracks in the Walking Dead, and it makes it seems like there's like 6 or 7 train tracks, and you get down there and there's two.
yeah.
So I know with movie magic they could have done something, but I see where you're going too, because yeah, like you said, with them doing the different reshoots, George was like, "F it, let's go."
Yeah. And the cantina band wasn't originally, I mean, that's in one alcove, but how do you, I don't know. That's the other thing that came with it. Um, it looks like an outdoor heater kind of device without the flat top on the top,
Uh-huh.
like a standing heater. It's got the pole in the middle and it's got a little microphone at top.
Yeah.
And that's the missing instrument. So there's 7 band members. One of them has this upright bass looking thing.
Hmm.
And the thought is that this upright bass thing was recycled and used for the holiday special without the top piece on it. So it's like a drum with a staff in the middle, and it's got this black piece that sits on top. But in the holiday special, that black piece is not on it.
Uh-huh.
But you can definitely see it in one specific shot in the cantina in the original movie. So they think that the part was reused, just missing a piece in the holiday special, but they included that piece so that you can have the full band with the full instrument set up. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A lot of detail. There's a lot of cups, and it's like a mock.
They were loving their cups.
Oh my goodness, there's so many cups. I'm not sure I'm going to open up my cups yet until I'm 100% certain like this is going to live here. The
Yeah.
only issue I have, it's on my coffee table in my Star Wars room, and we have to move the coffee table to pull out the bed. So if we have guests come out, we turn the couch into a bed.
Hmm.
We have to physically pick up the coffee table and move it. And I'm just afraid if I set up all those cups, I know the figures are going to fall, but if I
Right.
set up all those cups, they're just going to start tumbling everywhere. So right now, I'm not going to open up my cups, and they're like a model, with like model pieces. It's like a plastic piece when you have to pop out all the pieces when you
Yeah, on
assemble
the
a
they're
model.
is it pegs? Is it called pegs or trees or spruces or
Spruces, the
yeah.
spruces. So they're attached by spruces. Thank you. It's too early for me to talk. But yeah, there's a bunch of spruces, so it's like all like that. So
Ah,
I mean, that's the way you have to ship it.
right.
So you don't have like baggies of cups just everywhere in your box,
Right.
but you do have to pop them out and twist them and all that stuff. I just haven't done that yet. But they're pretty much the same cup, and the deluxe version just comes with more cups than you actually need.
That's because when you lose them, when you move them, take the bed out, you can just go grab some more.
Yeah, I think it's like something like 90 cups that
They
it
they
comes
were
with.
loving, yeah, they were saying that it was coming with a lot of cups.
So yeah, I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the figures. The Tanaka sisters look great. Greedo looks great. Nabram Leeds looks great. Wooher looks great. I mean, like she just said, all 5 figures look great.
Yeah. Have you opened the figures, the ones you're opening yet?
No, but they're out and they're ready to be opened. I meant to bring them up so I can open them on this podcast, but like I'm just like out of it because I need to sleep. Or maybe I'll take a nap after this.
Yeah. Well, plus you've kind of learned work with all your work with that book with the vintage the TVC book that you know how to open a so I'm sure you're trying to want to you preserve it as best you can too, the card, if you really want to.
Yeah, well,
Or
that's why I have a set that I'll keep carded,
uh-huh.
and I'll have a set to open. So I'm just trying to debate which version looks better. Can I
Yeah.
preserve this until I get more cases to put the other three in?
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's a great piece. It definitely I think is worth the money because it's bigger than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
I don't know why. In my mind, I thought it would be 20% smaller.
Right.
A lot of detail. Just wish that the lighting package was there because it
Yeah.
does it does come with like these translucent light bulbs
Hmm.
that you actually have to pull off the sprue, and you put it into the wall itself. And then if you hold the light behind it, they do illuminate. But it's almost like, well, we've gone 90% there. If you want to add light, you got to do it yourself.
Well, they did the same thing with the tables where they made them where you could put a tea light in them.
Yeah, you can put a tea light in them. Unfortunately, I don't have the right tea lights. All my lights were too big. I had a bunch of lights that we had from Rogue Fun
Hmm.
that are just sitting in my garage that I don't think we're going to use for the next one, but I'm holding on to them just in case.
Right.
I also don't like to waste things, so I'm hoping that maybe somebody will say, "Hey, I have a party. Anybody have some tea lights I can have?" And I'm like, "Yeah, just take them."
Here's bags and bags of them.
Bags and bags of tea lights. But so those are too big to fit underneath my tables.
Okay. And I could see them to me that's a smart design to be like here because to me those tea lights can fail. And that way if the light fails, you at least have, the tea light, you could swap that out. But yeah, like you were saying, how hard is it to do a string of lights along the back of the cantina?
Yeah. Or even just like wire it up and just plug it together. So if you are doing the modular thing,
Hmm.
you know, you just put it together. I just had a thought about like the Death Star because there's a lot of speculation that there's a Death Star HasLab coming in 2027.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be modular like this. It's probably going to be connective, and I just don't know how that's going to work. It's how it's going to display, but I don't think people should expect that pie-shaped piece or a round piece. I think it would be more like the new Lego set.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I just burped. It's a Lego set that's round, but it's almost like someone cut a slice through straight, and
Yeah.
so you've got this round piece. And I think a HasLab Death Star would be more like that. So I think people should be prepared for that. And I think the price point will probably be like 800-900 bucks.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. I just pulled up
The Cantina, not the Death Star.
no, I pulled up the Lego Death Star.
Oh, the Lego. Okay.
It's $1,000. And if
Yeah.
Lego can charge $1,000 for a Death Star, I think Hasbro can get away with it.
Hasbro's like, ooh, $1,200. Let's go.
But I mean, I've looked, I haven't looked at it, but I've seen like pictures of it, and like one side of it, it's made to where you could put it against the wall, but then that side that you put against the wall still has, a Death Star aesthetic to it. It's just flat.
Yeah, I think that's what a HasLab Death Star project would look like. I don't think it would be roundish, even like a Has sphere. I think it would be sliced like this new Lego set where it's
Yeah.
flat on both sides, the front and the back, but the sides are rounded.
I mean, that thing, I'm looking, it looks, wow, that thing's got a lot going on. I mean, it even has it's a smaller, um, Imperial shuttle, but it's got an Imperial shuttle that fits in it.
Yep. I don't think Hasbro can do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is. You can do a lot more with Legos because it's a lot smaller. But I mean, that's an incredible looking piece. It's an insane looking set.
But I will say, if they do a tiered system again to try to entice people to buy a Death Star,
Hmm.
I don't want a Han Solo figure and a Chewbacca figure to be the tiers.
Right.
That's the other thing about the new Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Uh-huh.
Um, if you look at Han Solo's sleeves, like how do I describe this? There is no. It's almost like they just had one piece and then they just stopped painting at one section for the sleeve of his arm, and then his wrist is just like way too big.
Oh,
They didn't
okay.
sculpt the wrist down. It's just this big like stump of a wrist.
So like they made the sleeve all the way to the wrist, but then they painted it.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I mean, I know this is not going to be something that
Well, the people on the YouTubes,
the
but I see what
YouTube.
you're saying. It's so instead of that, they made the jacket go all the way down to the wrist, but then they only painted half of the jacket.
Yeah, and then the other weird thing is that let's see, how do I look for that poster? Chewbacca has a weird thigh gap. I don't think this shows it, but hold on. Let me share my screen for all those driving. Let me just share my screen so you can see this. You see my screen, okay?
Yes,
So you can't really see it right here, but he's got
I can totally see
his
that.
wrist right there. But then look at Chewbacca's thigh gap.
Oh, wow.
And I would imagine that's so he's easier to sit down in the cantina. There's got to be a reason why they did that because it looks wonky.
Right. He looks
But
like a GI Joe figure.
yeah,
Imagine a thigh gap on an old school GI Joe figure. That's what it looks like.
but it's got to be for a reason. Like they can't bend his legs right without, increasing that gap there.
Mhm.
But I mean, people have been asking for a new Chewbacca. They've been recycling the same Chewbacca for a while, and this is what they get. And then Han Solo, you can't really see it, but like it's in shadow. But his sleeve ends, and it's just like this big tree stump of a wrist.
Yeah.
So there's something off about that Han Solo, unfortunately. But I don't know. That's
Hey,
all.
you got a land speeder.
Land speeder's coming. Also, that's the other thing. I got this map, this poster.
Yeah.
That's another pickup I had. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but
I don't either, man. It's been a weird few weeks because we
yeah.
just got a lot going on.
So I might be one of my favorite HasLabs. I think the
Mhm.
Sail Barge is number one, Cantina is number two, and Razor Crest is number three. The Ghost is just too damn big to the point where I don't even know where to store it right now.
I love the Ghost. Don't get me wrong. I love that ship, but I am disappointed in that HasLab.
Just, I mean, that is too big. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of talking, so you can take it from here for Lewis's meetup.
So we had a meetup yesterday over at Lewis and April's house. So I want to get into that real quick, cover that. I do want to say that this is becoming my like third favorite meetup of the year that we have because we have the winter and summer social, which is like 1A and 1B, and then you got Lewis and April's house, which they put so much thought into it. Like it should be like almost like our fall social or something, like because he just Lewis is like he's always got games, he's got food, and he puts thought into the food. So like we're like we had hamburgers, but he calls them bantha burgers, and he did green beans, but he called them death sticks or green sticks or something. So he always puts so much thought into everything. And he's got a nice setup. He's got a nice patio that we can hang out in. Because and his Louis April had brought this up. She's like, it always rains when we get together, but we don't feel it because we're under this nice big patio that they have. Um, so like yesterday, we ate, and then about the time we get done eating, then he always shares stories with us. In the years past, he's done when he was younger to earn his Star Wars money, he would do frog eggs. So he would find frog eggs. So like in years past, he's hidden frog eggs in his yard, and we've had to hunt for them. And then you win a prize. I won like a railroad hood, a little custom railroad hood he made. One year did he give away like a custom Death Star one year that he did, or he gave away something something else he had made.
Hate to say it, but I don't remember.
It's like we said, man, it's been a week. Um, but like so, and then he did like trivia yesterday. My wife had won the Jedi, the Wookiee Jedi from what was that? The Acolyte. Somebody, and so he'll give away
That's
stuff.
Kel Naka.
Yeah, there you go. He remembers names. Jason's better with names than I am. Um, And then what else did he do? He had swag. So he had taken beer bottles and got the labels off of them and put the Cerveza Cristal on labels on them. So, and thankfully the beer bottles were screw cap, so I was able to open them and get rid of the beer and put the cap back on it and make it look
Oh,
like, yeah,
what kind of beer was it?
it smelled like Bud Light. I was not upset about having to waste a Bud Light.
Oh,
Yeah.
this Bud's not for you.
Exactly. It's like, I'll take water. You're gonna give me Bud Light, I will take water. So and like it's the little things like I like Shinerbach. He had Shinerbach. You like
Yeah, and your girlfriend.
cider. He had cider, so he pays attention to stuff. Um and what else did he so like and then there's always a dance party. He always is like, we're gonna dance. So and
Yeah, I got to remember to leave early next week or next year.
he's like, Jason's like, oh no, I'm leaving. Um, we had a couple of new people show up that they were actually like Lewis's neighbors. They live like a couple of minutes away from him,
Yep.
and they had seen some of the Star Wars signs in his yard. And she had written a letter to him and like mailed it to him and like, hey, this is who we are. So he hooked him up with the club, and so that was their first meetup. Uh, so that was cool to finally find. It was nice to finally have new members because it's been a minute since we've had new members show up.
Yep.
Um, so they picked a good one to show up to because, like I said, Lewis puts a lot of thought into it. And at one point, you and I are sitting at the counter in his kitchen because it had started raining, and we all went inside. And he's like, "Y'all stay there. I got a game." And so, like, my wife came up behind me, and then Susan came up behind you, and he's like, "We're gonna play. They're gonna play your arms." And he was like, play Luke and Yoda, baby Yoda coming to see Yoda and Luke or whatever at Dagobah. So it was, kind of fun with that. And then he had done the same thing with Narayan, and I guess Susan ended up playing the head, trying to swap swag. And I don't think Narayan got it because I would have been a lot funnier with it. But
Oh, I forgot I was dealing with a comedian here.
he was like, I'll trade you this for that. And
I mean, that's
but
how you do it, though.
right, it is. He was doing like the typical swag swap. So, um, what else? Did I miss anything? It's a fun meetup. It feels it's a more communal meetup, and Lewis really spends time. I mean, he'll spend all year getting, he steps it up every year with his meetups. Um, so it was just fun. It was a fun meetup. We need, what am I thinking? Is there anything else? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. That's pretty much it for the meetup.
Yeah,
It was a
so it was a
good
fun.
time. So
It
thank you,
was
Lewis.
Yeah, thank you, Lewis, for hosting. So if you guys are thinking about coming to the meetups, that would be either hit one of those socials, the winter or the summer social, or hit Lewis's house because those are always, I think, three of the best meetups we have. Just because they're good guys. Lewis and April are good people, and I'm glad to have them in the club. I'm glad that he did tell a story um, about how he had found the club on Facebook and was like, uh high-end Star Wars collectibles, and he like was scared to join us. So it took him about 6 months until he started talking to other members, and they were like, "No, you need to come on. It's not like that." So if you see that it says high-end collectibles on the club page, don't worry about that. It's all about Star Wars, and that's
Our
what I tell a
page,
lot
the
of
Georgia
people.
Alliance.
Yeah, we might have. Did we change that? I'd have to
If
look at it.
well, we need to update that if that's the case because that's
Yeah.
not what this is about at
No,
all.
it's not. Um, I do have a lot of people that are like, "Oh, my collection's not like your collection." I'm like, "You collect Star Wars? Yeah, that's all that matters."
Right.
You could have a shelf of Star Wars stuff as long as you've got a cool place to hang. Not even as long as you want to host us, or just join the. Don't be afraid that your collection isn't suitable to join a Star Wars club because it just you collect Star Wars and that's all that really matters. Or you want to learn. And he was saying how he was in another club and he was scared to ask questions. And it's like if that's the kind of stuff that you're dealing with, I mean, that's not the right place to be.
No, unfortunately, those things exist out there.
Yeah, I hate trolls because it's like people are asking legitimate questions about things, and then you've got people that are just trolling them, and it's like, dude, you don't need to troll people. They're asking a legitimate question, and and it turns a lot of people off from the community where you don't need to be.
Trolls and egos. Egos is the other
Yes.
thing. Like, oh, I can't believe you don't know this. Oh.
Exactly. So that was the meetup. Anything fun and exciting happening?
No, we got another meetup in October at Second Chance.
And then the meetup in December here at
Yeah,
my house
the
for
Winter Social.
Winter Social. So yeah, look up at the event page. Second Chance is another good one. That's fun. I missed the one last year because we were on our cruise. But you had said that it kind of had faded a little bit. But
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by the number of people who showed up. And even though the number of people who show up to a meetup doesn't mean that it's the measurement of success shouldn't be the number of people that show up. It should be the quality of the meetup.
right.
But there was a lot of activities, and it was just tough to do like an auction with like 5 people there.
Yeah, that's the part that stinks is it's like we've tried when we've had like 20 people there, it's a lot more fun to do an auction,
Yeah.
but when you have 6, you have nobody wants the stuff.
Yeah.
Or it goes for dollars where it should be going for
Yeah, because you're limited with the number that just the amount of money that you have in your wallet. So, I mean, you can't be bidding on everything for $20 because that's going to get expensive really fast.
right.
So,
So
it's
yeah,
only a
yeah.
measurement of success if you've got enough people there to participate in the auction. So that was the part that was difficult because David was just like David at Second Chance, or they call them pops on the videos.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah, pops. Um, it was just like we need to scale this back because we can't auction off all this stuff. So we're hoping to get more people for this next meetup and coming out. It's a good time at Second Chance
Yeah, I think what time do we have? This October 11th is
at
that
noon.
meetup. So
At
yeah,
noon.
I guess that's everything, huh?
Yeah. And thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show. Anywhere you listen, it really helps us out and points people to our show. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We'd love feedback. We'd love to make you part of our show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Afonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People, collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collective community.